He is the most feared man in the galaxy, a master of the Force, a living weapon of the Empire, but beneath that iconic black armor lies a secret, a fatal flaw, a weakness engineered on purpose. Why would the Emperor spend billions of credits on a suit for his most powerful enforcer only to make it vulnerable? The answer isn't a simple design flaw, it's a deliberate act of cruelty, rooted in the deepest, darkest traditions of the Sith. And today we're exposing Palpatine's greatest manipulation. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we specialize in going beyond the screen to find the most fascinating stories in the Star Wars galaxy. And today we're tackling one of the biggest, the intentional weakness in Darth Vader's suit. You've all seen it, that moment in Return of the Jedi where Palpatine fries Vader with unlimited power. But what if I told you that vulnerability was part of the plan from the very beginning? And I'm not just talking about the movies, we're diving into legends, the novelizations and words from George Lucas himself to prove that Vader's suit was never meant to empower him, it was meant to cage him. Now, most fans know the story. Obi-Wan leaves Anakin burned and limbless on Mustafar. Palpatine finds him and encases him in the suit to keep him alive. But the first clue this was a prison comes from a source many haven't seen. In the original Marvel Star Wars comics from the 80s, long before the prequels, we got a glimpse into Vader's inner workings. In one story, Vader enters a null energy field that shuts down all his electronics. He doesn't just struggle to breathe, he is completely immobilized, forcing to rely on the Force just to keep his heart pumping. This was our first hint that his life was literally in the hands of his machinery. But the deeper reason comes from the Sith rule of two. A master always expects an apprentice powerful enough to one day kill them and take their place. Palpatine didn't just beat Anakin on Mustafar, he broke him. He saw that Anakin, even as Vader, was still too powerful, too emotional, and too connected to his past. So the suit became Palpatine's insurance policy. So let's break down the specific intentional weaknesses. First, the obvious, electricity. The suit's circuitry is wildly vulnerable to Force lightning. As confirmed in the Return of the Jedi novelization, Palpatine didn't just use lightning on Vader. The lightning cascaded through his systems, frying his respiratory functions and crippling him. This wasn't an accident, it was a built-in kill switch. Second, restricted movement. George Lucas himself stated that the suit was designed to be clunky and inefficient. It limited Vader's connection to the Force. Think about it. Anakin Skywalker was a blur of motion, the beast pilot and one of the greatest duelists in the galaxy. Palpatine encased that potential in a slow, heavy, painful shell. He traded agility for intimidation, reminding Vader every second of what he had lost. And third, there's the lesser-known sensory deprivation. This is a huge one. According to legends, sources like the Dark Lord, the Rise of Darth Vader novel, the suit's sensor gave him a limited synthetic view of the world. He couldn't smell, he could only taste recycled air, and his touch was numbed. Palpatine severed his connection to the living world, making his anger and pain the only things he could truly feel. Emotions that feed the dark side, but also keep him off balance. And this isn't even a new trick for the Sith, it's brutal tradition. Think about Darth Malak from Knights of the Old Republic. His master, Darth Revan, didn't just injure him. He took his jaw, forcing Malak to wear a metal prosthesis. It was a constant humiliating reminder of his master's power. Or Darth Sion, the Lord of Pain, who held his shattered body together purely by hate. His master, Darth Traya, cultivated that weakness, that pain, to control him. Palpatine learned from the best. He didn't just create a servant. He created a dependent. Vader needed the Empire's vast resources to maintain his suit. He needed a tax on the Executor to constantly fine-tune it. He was physically tethered to the very system he enforced, and any thought of rebellion wasn't just a risk of death. It was a risk of being utterly, completely helpless. So the weakness was always the point. The suit was a masterpiece of Sith engineering, designed for control, not comfort. It was a cage that used Vader's own power against him, channeling his pain and anger while ensuring he could never be turned against his master. But in the end, this brilliant plan contained the seed of its own destruction. That same pain and connection to a mechanical life is what allowed Vader, or rather what allowed Anakin, to finally understand the Emperor's true cruelty. The ultimate irony is that the weakness meant to control Vader became the key to his redemption and the Emperor's downfall. But what do you think? Was Palpatine's plan genius, or did it ultimately backfire? Let me know in the comments below. I make sure to read every single one. And if you learned something new today, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into Star Wars lore. Thank you very much for watching, and may the Force be with you.